Martinsville Speedway was full of surprises and losses, but Joey Logano never gave up trying. Logano faced an uphill task to return to the front after being banished to the back of the race for prohibited changes. But with each lap, he demonstrated bravery and determination, making daring moves and battling for every position. And in the end, Larson took the lead. His efforts were rewarded with a second-place result that left him pretty stoked. Join us as we take a look back at how Joey Logano made his comeback and led the race for the majority of the time. But before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. Logano was at a disadvantage from the start because he had to start the race from the back of the line because his Penske team made changes to his number 22 Ford that wasn't allowed after finding a water leak in it on Sunday morning. Due to the difficulty of making up positions, Logano was forced to lose a lap in the opening stage and continued to struggle for the duration of the race in the middle of the pack. So, what setback did Logano face? Joey Logano was penalized and placed in the rear of the field for making unapproved adjustments before the start of the NASCAR NOCO 400 race at Martinsville on Sunday. Logano was originally qualified for P15. He was supposed to start in the front of row 8, just ahead of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Even though Joey Logano was always going to begin the race in the middle of the pack, it is quite unlikely that he will appreciate starting in 36th place and pushing his way up. According to the broadcast on FS1, the alteration was made in order to repair a water leak in the car. Since Logano already has a victory to his record in this season's competition, he's free to take some liberties. He still has the goal of finishing each week as high as he possibly can and winning as many races as he can. On the other hand, Logano approaches races differently than his teammate Ryan Blaney, who hasn't yet taken the checkered flag and hence is still in need of a victory. In qualifying, the Stewart-Haas Racing Ford Mustangs were quick. That was not the case for Team Penske, much to the disappointment of Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. At this same race 1 year ago, Logano finished in second place overall. Throughout his career, he has shown excellent performance at Martinsville, so he believed he can make up for the poor starting position, but that didn't happen. It was all a total question until the end. Will Joey Logano be able to overcome this obstacle? Joey Logano made his 29th appearance in a Cup Series race at the Martinsville Speedway this weekend. This is the worst possible starting position for him. In March 2009, Logano had his maiden race in Martinsville, where he began in position 34 and finished in position 32. Joey Logano has one victory and has only failed to finish in the top 10 at Martinsville once in the last 10 races he's competed in there. Although he did not do well in qualifying this weekend, Logano has 2 pole positions to his name at the track overall. The good news was that Ryan Blaney did have a coworker. Due to his poor result in qualifying, Blaney had to start relatively far back in the field. It was assumed that in order for Joey Logano to win another race at Martinsville, he's going to have to put in a lot of effort and demonstrate a lot of patience. When you start at the back, you have a greater chance of being involved in an accident. There is a significant amount of traffic between Logano and the checkered flag. So, how did Logano carry along? Logano's luck changed near the end of the race when there was back-to-back cautions after a round of green flag pit stops that changed the race plan. On lap 346, when there was a caution, many cars in the lead decided to stop. Logano and 3 others chose to stay on the track, and when the race started again on lap 355, he was in front. Logano even drove away from the rest of the field for a few laps until Larson, who had gotten 2 new tires at his last stop, caught up to him. When it came down to the final 29 laps of the race, Larson took the lead and never looked back. Logano said, "At one point in the race, I would have been just happy to finish on the lead lap. Paul Wolfe, the crew chief, did a wonderful job of doing what needed to be done to make some decent improvements to the car so that it could compete. All that was required was track position. I was able to stay out and end up getting a fortunate caution there while the flag was still green. We had a chance to win the race because we stayed out when everyone else pitted us, which put us in the front row." Even though Logano is the first to confess that he despises losing, he did not show a great deal of disappointment when he ultimately came up short of victory. He said, "I made an effort to put Larson off for as long as I could. There wasn't even a sliver of a chance for me to win. He drove away from me so quickly, but he was pretty patient. I knew he was going to be bumped. That was going to be the only way for him to get around me, and he was going to have to resort to physical confrontation. There's absolutely no problem with that. In general, there are going to be times when you are furious about a second. Ultimately, today is not one of those days. Today's the day that you should be quite pumped about the fact that you ended a bit better than you thought you were going to." What are your thoughts on the overall efforts that Joey Logano made despite the setbacks he faced? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. The defending champions up and down season continued with a runner-up finish for Logano, who was previously in the first place. In the first 9 races, he has already won 1 and ended in the top 10 5 times, but he has also finished 28th or worse 3 times. Now let's discuss how Larson won and took the lead till the end. Kyle Larson never imagined that he would be able to master the paperclip-shaped half-mile circuit that is found at Martinsville Speedway. And then there was Sunday. Chase Elliott made his return to NASCAR competition on the same day as Kyle Larson won his second race of the 2018 season in the Cup Series by passing Joey Logano with 29 laps remaining and going on to win the race. It was Larson's 21st Cup Series victory in his career and 15th in the last 3 years for the 2021 Cup champion. In previous years, Larson has had a lot of trouble winning at Martinsville. Only 3 of his previous 17 races at this venue resulted in his finishing in the top 5, and he never placed higher than 3rd. Larson stated, "I never ever would have thought that I would have won here," and he was absolutely correct. "This location has been so challenging for me, and it just does not work at all with the way that I drive. I just can't believe it." Larson made light of the fact that he hasn't had much success at the track in the past by joking that he doesn't know where he'll put the 6-foot-tall grandfather clock that is given to the victor of the race. According to Larson, the clock immediately becomes one of his most valued things because it serves as a reminder of how hard he's worked to win at a track where he never felt comfortable. Larson added with a chuckle, "I've left here just enraged. I've always despised this location, and there have been times when I've wished it would be flooded. I wished a lot of bad things for this place." Elliott, who had been voted the most popular driver in NASCAR over the course of the previous 5 years, placed 10th in his first race back after fracturing his leg in a snowboarding accident that forced him to miss 6 weeks of competition. The majority of the race was spent with him running in his mid-20s before he finished strongly. Elliott stated that the fact that it was warm and that he had spent the previous 6 weeks sitting on a couch was most likely what caused him the most pain. But to tell you the truth, we had a lot of problems. Every run beside the very last one. In the end, we eventually got it working and we were able to make some passes. Elliott will most certainly require a victory in order to qualify for the playoffs given how far behind he is in the point standings. In the race on Sunday, he qualified in the 24th position. Coming on to the next Cup Series race, the Geico 500 is the 106th Cup Series that the Talladega Super Speedway will hold. The oval track in Lincoln, Alabama, which is 2.66 miles long, is the biggest oval on the NASCAR plan. With 33 degrees of banking in the turns, 16.5 degrees on the tri-oval, and 3 degrees on the backstretch, drivers have to work together in the draft to win. So that's all we've got for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.